Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulullah, ma ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. How much would you pay to be created at the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to walk on the same footsteps that he walked upon, to be taught by him, to see him, to pray behind him, to hear him? How much would you pay to actually just see him in a vision, in a dream? Or how much would you pay to be resurrected with him? Or to have his intercession? How much would you pay to actually be with him in Jannah? You know why? Because he mentioned one hadith that captures this whole series of akhlaq. He says, the most beloved to me and the closest to me in Jannah. He didn't say the one that stayed up at night to pray, that memorized the Quran, that fasted every other day, gave his money away, and all of that. He says, أحسنكم أخلاقا, the best of you in moral conduct. So if this is not a good enough price for you to pay, to be with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Jannah, I don't know what is. So this is the series about akhlaq. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who listen to speech and follow the best of it. So the first one, I'll talk about akhlaq in general. We'll make it short and sweet. And the following others, we'll talk about one specifically. But the most important is to implement the akhlaq, implement the knowledge that we learn. Like Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he memorized 10 ayat at the time. So he says, تَعَلَّمْنَا الْعِلْمُ وَالْعَمَلَ مَعًا. We learn knowledge and action together. And that's what this whole series is all about. So we'll tell you from the sources of Quran and Sunnah, and now how to implement. We will leave you with a game plan and a homework. Hopefully, by the end of this series, will be a fine-tuned deen machine, inshaAllah. So the akhlaq, Allah subhanahu wa jalla fi'ula testifies to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. Indeed, you are the best moral conduct. As a matter of fact, he himself says, among the reasons I was sent, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. One of the reasons the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent to mankind, human beings, to perfect their conduct, to perfect the moral conduct of our behavior and actions and deeds. The best way for da'wah, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, is to live Islam. You don't have to live your life defending Islam. You just have to live your life living Islam. And that's the best way to defend Islam, or the best way for da'wah. Imagine, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, the heaviest thing on the scale on Judgment Day is husn al-khuluq. The best thing is husn al-khuluq. The one that perfected their iman, he says, is the completion of the akhlaq. The one that actually completed the religion is the one that has the akhlaq. The best of nations, those who have the akhlaq. You name it, the list is very long for us to go, but we have a very limited time to share with you, just to make sure that we understand the importance of these series of the akhlaq. So, you know what the scholar says, which one is actually more important to us? The one that has akhlaq but less deen, or the one that has the deen but less akhlaq? The question is posed to you. Which one do you think that will come to you in giving a da'wah? The one that has all the deen, that long beard, the miswak and all of the short, the kufi, everything that you know. That he's terrible when it comes to behavior. Which one would you want to listen to? Or the one that is actually has a little bit of a deen, like the minimum requirement, but he is the best of moral conduct? Which one do you think that wants to give you da'wah? Isn't that the best way to do it, akhi? Especially when you live out here in the West, they don't judge how you are praying, they judge how you're acting, how you're behaving. And I'll give you the proof of that when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually said something about a woman that was kind of tu'raf. She was known in Medina, but kind of tu'dhi jiraniha, but she used to harm the neighbors. Even though she prayed, even though she stayed, even though she fasted, even though she gave her money away. But what did he say in the end? It's okay? No, he actually says, لا خير فيها. There's no good in her. And I'll explain that why, inshallah. We'll finish this episode with that. And he said, هي في النار. The worst thing about it is that she's in hellfire. Yes, the scholar says she's not eternally in hellfire because she still says, La ilaha illallah. There's only one deity deserving to be worshipped, which is Allah subhanahu wa jalla fi'ula. But what is the moral of that? Believe it or not, she did not get the benefit of the ibadah. She did not get the benefit of the action of worship. If you go to the Quran, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, which I'll finish with inshallah in this episode, if you look in the ibadah and the akhlaq, they're coupled in the Quran. إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنكَرِ. Indeed, the salah wards off evil. So the salah is the ibadah, the fruit of the ibadah is the akhlaq. Forbids evil and transgression acts. خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً. Take wealth take some from their money to purify them. طَهِرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ. To purify them, purify their wealth. To give them more than, it's better to give than receive. The illness of the heart of hoarding is miserness, to be generous. That's the akhlaq. In the siyam, again, it's a long verse. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. You hear this in Ramadan all the time. The siyam is because you learn taqwa from siyam. Isn't that amazing? So taqwa is there from siyam, the act of worship. Even hajj, al-hajj ashhurun ma'lumat. فَمَن, those who actually go ahead and فَلَا رَفَثَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. No, not even beginning of intimate relations, which is the best of control of your behaviors and actions and deeds. No quarrels and actions, because when you go there and you tell the brothers, you know, you have 5 stars and all that stuff, and you see no stars, and the only stars you count is actually in Muzdalifah when you're on the ground counting the stars. May Allah, if you want to fight this guy, no rafat, no quarreling, no quarrels, no fusuq, coming out of the disobedience of Allah, no jidal. Nothing. Amazing. Isn't that amazing? So that's not sins. I'll leave you with one hadith, inshaAllah, with Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, especially men, when he says, the best of men, the best to his wife. You know why? Because the wife is the only one that will know your akhlaq. He did not mention anything, no ibadah was mentioned there. The only thing he mentioned, the best of men is the best to his wife, because your wife will know your true colors. Not the one that sees you praying on all that stuff, is how you act and deal with her. And he says, فَبَدَأَ بِهِ بِنَفْسِهِ. He started with himself. He says, وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِي. One narration, Aisha says, you are the best. And he says, I'm the best to my wife and honor. This is actually narrated in the Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah, rahmatullahi alayhima. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make you among the best of those who come to it. So what is our goal and what is our roadmap? Is I'm now going to learn something in the following series, inshallah, about one specific time and implement it. What's the intention? To be with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Jannah. Ameen wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa sallallahu ala alihi wa sahbihi wa tabi'in. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.